Hi, and welcome to this week's episode. It's all about gear, so hang on and stay tuned. So what camera brands do I use? Well, over the years I've used Canon, Nikon, Olympus, Minolta, Leica, Sony, Rollei, Pentax, Petri, and Panasonic. And today, primarily, we are a Nikon house, and we have several Nikon DSLRs. We use Sony cameras also, and we use Panasonic Leicas. That's our main go-to equipment for the time being. So why Nikon? Well, a lot of people go, hey, if you're not using a Canon, there's some kind of issue. But the reason we use Nikon is years ago I used Olympus and was very, very comfortable with my Olympus equipment. And I was in Santa Barbara, California, and it broke. My OM1 broke a crankshaft, and I had to get a camera. So in California, the entire state of California, there was not a Olympus SLR to be found, and I had to make the conversion to a camera, and I decided to go with the Nikon bodies simply because of the quality, the construction of them, the lens selection fit my needs at the time, and that's what I went with at that time. I'm very comfortable with the way the Nikon is laid out. I like the feel. I like the way it handles. Going from Olympus cameras to Nikon was quite a change. This is one of my first professional Nikons. This is the F100 film camera. Every bit professional, very sturdy, very strong, and heavy. And going from the Olympus OM1s to this was a very big change, but I liked the feel. So when I went to digital, I didn't know anything about digital, so I bought a D70S, and it was a lot smaller and lighter, and I felt very comfortable with the way everything on the camera was laid out. So I decided to stay with the Nikon system. The other thing that's nice about the Nikon system, the menuing system makes complete sense. If you're used to running a manual camera, it makes a lot of sense. It works really good. The cost, these things, while some of them can be expensive, the one thing with them is there's a lot of alternatives. There's a lot of different lenses you can use. There's a lens system that is really enormous, and the results that they produce are amazing. They're almost unbeatable. So you say, okay, so now why you say you use Sony? Well, we just started recently using Sony again for some things, and we ended up buying a ZV E10, and you can see it right there. It's doing the work filming this video. And one of the reasons we bought it is we had the ability to put Zeiss lenses on it when needed. I have used Sony cameras in the past. In fact, that was my first digital camera, was a Sony. You used to put the floppy disk in the side of it and cringe and growl because it took time to write to that floppy disk. But I've also had other units of theirs that I've used with the Carl Zeiss lenses, and I've had other cameras with Carl Zeiss lenses and have been very, very pleased. The one thing, well, there's a couple things I don't like about the Sony system. The first thing I like is the cost. The cost is really good. It's really low for what you get. The thing I don't like is I don't like the menuing system. The menuing system on this thing is terrible. The other thing is there's a lot of lens weirdness. It seems there's a lot of confusion, and you can put just about any kind of lens you want to on that camera, but there doesn't seem to be a standout original equipment manufacturer lens line that you would be able to use without going through a lot of hassle. A lot of people are using Sigma, or they're using Tamrons, and I've even seen them using Young Nows and Viltrox and everything else in the world, and it kind of leaves me a little bit confused why they're using those. Okay, so you're going, you say you use Panasonic Leica also? Yes, we do. We have a little Panasonic pocket camera that we use with a Leica lens on it. It's Leica design, Panasonic, whatever. It's complicated, but anyway, the thing we use it for is we use it for doing a lot of our thumbnails for our YouTube channel. It works great. It's easy to use. It fits in a little baggie that goes on my hip, and it's an awesome little camera, and it was less than $100. The only real drawback is that it does nothing but JPEG or video, and but for what it does, it works tremendous for just doing those little thumbnails. Are we brand loyal? Yes, to a point. When we get comfortable in a system, we want to rely on what's in that system. So when we look at a system, we want to make sure it's got all the components that we're interested in. That helps us make decisions quickly, and we know everything's going to work together. We've used other brands and everything. The camera industry changes quite a bit, so we're staying with exactly what we have because we're comfortable. Okay, don't get worried. We also have Canon gear. Yes, we have Canon cameras, and we have Canon printers that we use, and we use quite often. In fact, the script that was I produced for this video, I printed off on a Canon printer. I have a Canon printer that's 13 by 19 that I make massive prints for putting in galleries, and I make prints that I hang on the wall and things like that. So it took me a long time to get comfortable back with Canon, but we're using some of their gear, and so far it's been pretty good. Why we don't really use them a lot? It comes back to an experience I had with them 35 years ago, and it basically left me unhappy with them. So at that point, I went to a system that I felt comfortable with, and I stayed with those systems for a long time. Today, they make great equipment. They make nice stuff. I don't like the way the menus work, and I don't like the feel of the cameras. And the reason we own this one is someone gave us this camera and we use it for little things around the house. It works fine. It's just not what we use every day. Full frame or crop sensor or beyond? Well, we do have a full frame camera. Most of the time I'm behind this Nikon D800, 36 megapixels. It's an awesome camera. It really professional and allows me to crop, edit, do whatever I want to. The one thing with it is the file size is 80 meg a shot, so it's a lot. So we've got a lot of disk space. Another camera we use is we have a couple different Nikon crop sensors that we use, and they work extremely well. And down the lower end, we've got a Coolpix Nikon P6000 for when we need to use a camera in confined small spaces where really the venue doesn't want you to have heavy camera equipment in there. So that's our primary lineup. Full frame, if we can do it. We don't have a problem with using crop sensor or even sometimes smaller. Mirrorless or DSLR? I like DSLR. I know a lot of people have gone mirrorless. They say mirrorless is the future. I don't like a lot of bells and whistles in my face on the screen, especially my viewfinder. If I can get a light meter, and sometimes I don't even use a light meter, I'm more comfortable. I run my camera in manual, and I've been doing it long enough that I don't have any issues with it. I don't need all the fancy gizmos. Mustard, mayo, or Miracle Whip? Mayo, Hellman's, for some things, and French's mustard. That's the way I like it. Exposure modes. Raw exposure modes, I shoot almost entirely in manual. Very rarely when I hand the camera to somebody in program mode that doesn't know what they're doing or is not a photographer, and I'll have to get it back out. But a lot of times I'll preset my camera so that it's in a mode that I can deal with. RAW versus JPEG. See Fro's video, but I shoot RAW for the greater amount of data. Check Fro out. Take a look at his videos. He'll explain RAW and JPEG to you. What do I think of third-party lenses? I will say, for me, I stay mainly with OEM, original equipment manufacturers. I use nothing but Nikon lenses these days. On the Sony, I use Sony lenses. The Panasonic, Leica has got the Leica lens built into it. I'll stay with those simply because I know the quality and the construction that I'm getting. Some of the other things too is the construction of the professional Nikon lenses. They're built like tanks and they're designed to be used heavily. A lot of third-party lenses in the past were not optically as good. They were a lot cheaper, and today they're even still a little cheaper. But things are changing with the contracts and alliances between some of the manufacturers from the past, i.e. Zeiss, i.e. Leica. A lot of these companies are now building and having lenses that are engineered that are very, very good. One of the things that they do in a lot of cases is they're not as well armored or weather sealed or constructed. So, but you're paying less money for them. So I don't use them, but I can't say anything really bad, except maybe there are some lenses that are quite a bit cheaper. I don't use them. I don't deal with them. That's my opinion, but give them a try if you want. Save some money, but that's up to you. We'd like to say thank you, and please follow us, subscribe, click the like button. Beat the living daylights out of it. I don't care. One of the things we'd like to put in a plug this month or this week is for we made an issue of Buddy Magazine. It's around here somewhere. If you've not seen Buddy Magazine, it is the Texas music magazine. We finally did it. It's been like a dream to do it, and we're very proud of it. So thanks go out to the guys at Buddy Magazine. Also, please go out and visit Tasty in Texas. Julie B makes some incredible stuff. I've been munching all day on this chocolate bark that is incredible, and it's healthy for you. Once again, please, nothing would be possible with this video unless it was helped out by Steve and the guys at Southwest Graphic Arts. Thanks to go to them, and we appreciate them 100%. See us at the City of Irving, Texas Park and Recreation shows in the month of April. We'll be there every Friday night except the 14th. We've got a prior commitment on the 14th. Go out and see them the first night. We're going to have the Squeezebox Bandits out there. Go see the Bandits. They're awesome. Starting in June, I think on June 16th, we're going to go out and we're going to shoot photograph Zach Harmon. Man, if you want to see some blues and stuff, this year the city of Garland has got an awesome blues lineup, and it's free. So go out and check it out, and it's a good time and some awesome music. We'd also like to tell you too that we're available depending on the dates. If you have if you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, so there are a few dates still left. So check us out. Check out my website, and let us know if you need something. You're looking for a photographer for your band. Hey, give us a look-see. Thank you very much. Like and subscribe. Beat the heck out of that button. You know, the one that says subscribe. Let it have it. And you know, the like button, give it a swat too. Anyway, We'll see you next week. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.